Alright everybody, today we have a very special guest, very special guest, and her name is
Dr. Kelly.
Dr. Kelly. Now, most of you would not have met Dr. Kelly yet. Some of you have been by Teshuva recently and you would have met Dr. Kelly. And so we're going to ask Dr. Kelly the first question. Is Dr. Kelly your real name?
Is Dr. Kelly my real name? So it is, sort of. So Kelly is my first name. It's a part of my first name. My first name is Kelly-Lois. Kelly-Lois, and my last name is Gooden-Morgan.
Huh.
Right, so it's very long.
Huh. But Dr. Kelly is fresh because some people call me Dr. Andre.
Right.
It's
So
just that Dr. Andre doesn't sound like a last name.
true, yes. I do get a lot of people asking me my last name is Kelly.
Perfect. And so if you're writing a check to Dr. Kelly,
Right.
do not write it as Dr. Kelly because
Yes.
that's probably going to cause a problem at the bank.
That is true.
Well, Dr. Kelly, you are officially with Teshuva Wellness. Yay!
Yes, yeah, it's so exciting.
And that's been since, so long story. So before we get there, I wanted to ask you, tell me a little bit about your background. Are you really a doctor?
Yes, I also get that question a lot because of my handwriting. My handwriting is very neat, and so people always assume that maybe I'm a swing lawyer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not really a doctor, but it is true I am. I studied at UWI, University of the West Indies, so that's in Kingston on Mona campus.
Yes.
I am from Immaculate, by the way, so we go to all the Immaculate people.
Yeah.
My alma mater. Right? No, it's okay. It's okay. I know our schools have beef. That's okay.
Go ahead.
That's okay. But I'm moving from UWI. I graduated in 2015. Moved to Manchester. So I'm from Kingston, but I moved to Manchester to do my internship.
Wow.
Right.
So you graduated in 2015, which means you are very young.
I suppose so. I don't know, should I tell everybody my age? But I am.
I mean, if you tell them your age, then they'll figure out mine.
My year, right.
Because I graduated in 2005, a full 10 years before Dr. Kelly.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Anyway, keep going.
So I moved from Manchester and I worked at Manville Regional Hospital. I moved from there to Savannah Lamar General Public Hospital. And I lived in South for a little while. Then moved over to Hanover. And I've worked in all of like the Hanover health centers, all over Hanover, as well as then moving on to the hospital at Lucy, which is Noel Holmes Hospital.
Wow.
Right, so I've worked a lot in a lot of rural areas, and that's given me a whole lot of experience in medicine that I don't think I would have gotten otherwise.
That's a ton of experience because you'd have had to work in like the baby clinics, health centers, all of that stuff.
So
plus ER.
Exactly. No, so at the smaller hospitals, what most people don't know is you have one doctor working for the entire hospital because the staffing is not going to be as much.
Yeah.
So we get to do every single thing because we have to be the surgical doctor, the clinician seeing in the ER, and reviewing the babies, reviewing the moms in the maternity ward, and but it gives you so much experience, so much exposure. I've done a good many chest tubes myself, just all on my own, with my nurses assisting me. I love my nurses, by the way. Love nurses, they're so helpful. Right, so I've done my fair share of amputations, lots of exciting things because of the environment that I've been a part of.
So it's funny because Jamaicans in particular always have this thing about, I don't want to go to no young doctor.
Right.
It sounds like, in your case, even though you're young, you have like a ton of experience.
Right, so that's it. It's experience. And I get that. I think everybody wants to make sure that their doctor is experienced, that the doctor knows what they're talking about. And I think experience is very different from age. And then I've also worked in a lot of the health center privately as well.
Right.
So I have both experience.
Of course. Yeah, so with all of that said, I think our paths, you and I and Nurse Williams' paths crossed so many times in life.
Right, yes.
And you were just reminding me a while ago of some of the times that I totally forgot about. And what Dr. Kelly reminded me is that we had actually met first when she was in med school.
That's right, yes.
And apparently I said something that sounded like wisdom and she latched onto it. So be very careful what you say to med students because you just don't know, they might end up working for you or something.
Right.
But how did we, just remind me, how did you end up at Teshuva? Like, I think you were at Teshuva before it was even Teshuva, right? Or something?
Yes, I was with Teshuva. Right, so when you had sparked that idea in my head when I was much younger as a med student, that truly taking care of patients may just be more than slapping a band-aid on a problem or fixing one particular issue with, something that's going to create another issue, but maybe healing people as a whole.
Right.
I think when you said that, like, you had shown me a chapter of a book, and that really, that sat with me.
Right.
And so you had also introduced me to Gerson therapy, which you were doing at the time.
Gerson.
Right, and I decided to jump on board and do that training in California.
Okay. So you actually went to Gerson.
Right, so I went to the Gerson Institute in California and did the training there. And then I think we had kind of worked on and off in between that because I was still working with the hospitals, and I think I was I had to leave as well to work in another place.
I just remembered something. I remembered you sending me and nurse a picture of you being at the Gerson and you had met a doctor there who was driving this convertible.
Right, yes.
So you were like driving through San Diego, top down.
Yes, it was so much fun.
When I went to Gerson, nobody did that for me though.
I know.
Guess you have to be like a female.
No, we were all females. Like when we went there were so many females, and we all just formed that great bond. As a matter of fact, I still follow many of them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it was just such a great time, truly.
Yeah.
So we had connected, and we just went and did a lot of fun things together. So it was just a great time.
That was 2016?
Maybe. I think so.
Yeah, probably. Or maybe 2017.
2017, I think.
Yeah, and then like we kind of parted ways for a little bit.
Right.
And I think you did some more training, then you started working at a private office, then you started working at a private hospital.
Right.
And then somehow, I feel like this was nurse, but somehow I feel like one day you just showed up at Teshuva, like I don't know how it happened.
It was divine, I will say that.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I was ready to get back to work. I had just had a baby and I had stayed with Anthony, my son, for about a year, a little bit over a year. I wanted to make sure that I was there to take him through that formative first year of life. And so I wanted to get back to work, and I didn't even tell anyone. I was just, thinking about it, and I saw that you had put a post up for an available job, and so I had responded to you and said, I'm interested, and then you had said, actually, we have been praying about it, and we have been thinking about it for another position. And so that was God, because it was because I don't even watch everybody's WhatsApp. I think you have to stuff on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
You don't post like job opportunities on WhatsApp ever, and then especially I'm anything on WhatsApp, and then I don't check my WhatsApp status every day. So for me to have even seen that, and then for you to have been praying about it as well, it was I think it was God.
Yeah. So fast forward, that was 2021. Fast forward now, Dr. Kelly had the opportunity, in the same way that she got all of that experience compacted into like maybe 2-3 years when you were working, when you just finished med school and the internship. In the same way, it just so happened that in the space of probably 9 months, Dr. Kelly has had the privilege of seeing all of the different cases that took me forever to see in the space of like 9 months, and being able to learn all the different procedures that I had to learn by trial. Not by trial and error, but mostly by trial, because I had to learn it overseas and bring it back to Jamaica and implement it. And so I learned what works in the context of Jamaican people. And Dr. Kelly has had the privilege of working alongside me for the better part of a year.
No, it's been a year now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's February now, and I started last year.
Precisely. So the reason why I wanted to do this video is, number one, I really wanted you guys to meet Dr. Kelly officially. I know there are people who follow us on social media but have never been to Teshuva. met a lady the other day who told me that she had been following us on Teshuva's webpage for like 3 years, and now she's finally coming to see me, and she was so excited, and I was like, okay, because I'm not really the social media guy. I'm trying now, but you know, Dr. Kelly obviously is a lot more outgoing, maybe, and a little bit more. And so I wanted you guys to recognize, first of all, that Dr. Kelly is totally legit.
Yes.
So too legit to quit. Yes. So when you come to the office and you see her, I tell people, if you see her, you're seeing me. And I'm not joking, because even though obviously people are coming to the office to see me, one of the things with Dr. Kelly is you can teach the same person a technique, but everybody is going to do things slightly different than you would. And because of that unique personality that she has, I've had patients come back to me and say, boy, Doc, when you give me the injection, it really hurts now, but when we go to Dr. Kelly, it doesn't hurt as much. So, you know, and so it's the uniqueness of the two different personalities, the two different approaches, but the same quality care. And the second thing is Dr. Kelly looks young. And I went through my whole phase of people saying, you didn't have any gray hair, taking on that some. Yeah, and people will say, oh, I don't want to come to you. You sure you know what you're doing? And I don't want anybody to put Dr. Kelly through that, because you already put me through it. You already know what I'm about. So when you see Dr. Kelly, you're going to treat her really good. And then the other thing about it is you guys are going to be seeing Dr. Kelly a lot more as well, because as I said, I'm not really that much of a social media guy. I'll do it for educational purposes and to let you guys know what's up. Dr. Kelly loves social media. She actually has another business that she does on the side, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to probably put that somewhere in this video to remind you guys where you can meet up with her, or it'll be in the description or something like that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So you can support her other business, which is super cool. And we're probably going to take like a group pic one of these days with everybody, so you can see another surprising secret about Dr. Kelly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That?
She's very unique in terms of her fashion statements.
Oh,
so yeah, that's a surprise for another
day.
So keep watching the page so that you'll know. Keep watching the channel wherever you're seeing this, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. You're gonna find out something interesting about Dr. Kelly's fashion and artistic side in subsequent videos and pictures. I don't think there's much else to say. I mean, you're gonna see some photos of her walking up and down in nature, which she likes to do. And I didn't want this video to be long. I just wanted you to meet a new face. Welcome to Teshuva, Dr. Kelly.
Yes, thank you.
A year later or 5 years later.
Right? Yes.
And anything you want to... Oh! What's the nicest thing about working at Teshuva for you?
Okay, so the two things that I love about working with Teshuva, because you have asked for one, my favorite thing, but the truth is that there are different perspectives. So I love working with patients and being able to heal them completely. And when I say that, I mean, it's an amazing feeling to give patients help that help their entire being, their entire body, mind, body. So, you know, just everything. Yeah. Instead of saying, okay, here's a tablet for your headache, you're healing the problem. And so the person doesn't have a headache, but then they also don't have digestive issues anymore. They don't have the issue with their feet or some strange rash that they didn't even think about before. And that's really incredible to me. I feel like it fulfills my purpose as a doctor. Trust me, it is.
Yeah, that's why we're here. I hope.
For sure. But beyond that, working with the team, our team is amazing. So I truly enjoy working at Teshuva in that respect, because there are many places that you can work and every day you're miserable. Every day it's unsettling. Every day there's no peace in the office. Every day people argue and fight. But I genuinely feel like we're a family, and you know, it's such a peaceful environment, you know, for my soul. And so when I go to work, I'm happy. And that's super important to me. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I won't even go there. Right, but you know, but that's it. You know, we're grateful for this.
Absolutely. So I don't know if this will end up being in the middle of the video or maybe it will be like the end. Regardless, you know, we love you guys and we're looking forward to a great rest of 2022. already seen Dr. Kelly doing some videos on her own. So she'll have her own like different set of videos, and you can enjoy those because she has a lot to bring to the table as well. And yeah, that's it. Let's see, guys. Teshuva out.
Whoa.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, there you go. I would have totally missed the basket, but it's okay.
We got it.
Form, you know?
So.
You gotta be like, hold on. Let me see if I can touch the rim, right?
Right. Yeah.